off-white color. This is vintage white down at the bottom. So that's our sand. Not too much. We want to have plenty of room for our tree. That's funny. Thank you, Deborah. So we're just going to get some of this off-white color. I'm sure not everybody feels that way. I feel certain I get on people's nerves too. I've actually been told that in a lie. You know, you can't make everybody happy, can you? Don't even try. So I don't want to make this straight perfect across because it is, hey Carrie, because it is sand, and you know sand is not perfect. So we are going to just make it a little wavy because the wind's been blowing on this sandy beach. And now I'm ready to start too. I worry about getting ahead of myself because some people get so upset. Thank you, Peggy. I just had those done a couple hours ago. I was just sitting here trying to prep for today, for tonight, making a list of all my stuff I needed to pack, and thought, oh my Lord, look at my nails. Look, Lele. So I ran up down the street and got my nails done. And because I thought, Lord, these people in Texas are going to think I'm homeless. So I'm going to put down a coat of white all everywhere except where we just did our sand. And of course I got too much. I'm just going to scoop some of this off and put it on my plate because I'll need it later. That is a big old nasty paint booger. Ugh. So let's get this covered, and while it's still wet, let me scoop some of this off. Lord, I'm terrible about that. I really should stop just squirting it on. I really should stop just working. Shipping, it's not gonna cost $17, Tarita. I use Shopify, and they calculate your shipping by location, and doesn't really let me change it if I have a special box. So I'm gonna guess, depending on where you are. Where are you located, Tarita? And we just ship USPS, by the way, because they come and pick up. But I think you could do snail mail. You can email me or send me a message, Tarita, and let's figure out why the shipping is so high. But I'll tell you this, and anybody who orders from me often can attest, if your shipping that you pay is higher, if what you pay for shipping is higher than it costs to ship, I always, always, always refund that difference, okay? I just don't have control over the Shopify app. I have to put my stuff in, weigh it, and then they take it from there. But I will refund anything that's paid over. I do that every day. Okay, so while this is still wet, I'm going to add a dab of blue. And I didn't even rinse my brush. It's still got the white in it because I don't want this blue to be terribly bright. And I'm just going to flat brush in. See how I'm holding my paintbrush kind of almost perpendicular to my art piece, to my canvas. So I am gonna just kind of swish in some blue. Just to give it some interest so it's not just plain and boring. All right, and down here, I'm gonna give it a little bit of a solid line. That's where our water is. I just don't want to make a big deal of it. focus is going to be on the Christmas tree, blah, blah, blah. Palm tree. Couldn't get that out. All right, so we're gonna dry this because we don't want to wait forever. So I'm gonna use my heat gun. Yeah, I might have said glue, I don't know. Today has been a crazy day. Like I said, I'm leaving for Texas in the morning and I'm not ready. Haven't even packed, haven't even thought about packing, and so I'm like losing my mind. So we're gonna get this dry so that we can do our palm tree without having to wait forever. The blue was French blue, folk art French blue. I gotta get this dry because we're gonna use the tracer and I don't want my tracer to stick to wet paint. So this has gotta be nice and dry. So we got one little wet spot right here. Let it go, let her go. So I'm totally in love with this heat gun, by the way. It's a Seek 1 heat gun from Amazon, and it may be, I don't know, I'm just speculating, but don't forget that today is the last day for Amazon Prime. You might could get it on sale, I don't know. Let's see. So that's a little warm, so we're gonna let that cool off a little bit before we do our tracer. Okay, so to do our transfer, I'm gonna use, this is pink. I really need to find my black piece. Hang on. There we go. This is graphite paper. It's kind of like that old-timey a copy paper when you used to have to make a copy of something and you would put this between two sheets of paper in your typewriter. That's kind of what this is. You can get it at any art supply store. It's called graphite paper, and we're going to use this to transfer our image onto our canvas. And we're also going to use a stylus, which is just a pen with no ink. But if you don't have one of these, you can just use a pen. Ain't nothing but a thing, chicken wing. Okay, so we are going to place, and I still don't have my tape. I'm gonna grab some Scotch tape because I'm tired of myself and the no tape situation. All right. It is a great place to be for the holidays. So I'm just going to use some tape. Normally I would use painter's tape, but I'm just going to tape my little tree down to my canvas so she don't move while I'm tracing my image. Oh, that's awesome, Jamie. Jamie said that the heat gun is on Prime, so you could save a few dollars. So I'm gonna stick this graphite paper underneath. I'm being super careful about my fingernails. Oh, it says Dick Blick. Dick Blick. Yeah, that's my terrible handwriting. I apologize. So we are gonna scooch this under, and I'm gonna transfer my tree to my canvas just by tracing over these lines. Now the graphite paper, what that does is transfers that black onto the canvas. Can you see that? I'm not gonna do those because I don't know if I want them or not. They're gonna be on the tracer in case you do though. So I'm gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm freehanding the rest. But you will have, if you're a member of the Sheltered Circle, you will have access to this, and you can pick and choose what you want to transfer onto your piece. Now I'm going to scooch this Scotch tape under so it doesn't stick everywhere. Okay, so now we're going to, I'm going to base coat in my, I don't know why I drew that little line. I'm going to have to cover that up. That was my sand line, And instead of just leaving it, because I already painted my sand, I drew that line. And now I got to get rid of it because I'm crazy. I'm going to squirt a little bit of this vintage white right back on the canvas. We're probably going to add some glass there anyway, but I don't know why I added that line. Because I don't know what I'm doing sometimes. So now we're going to add in our brown for our tree trunk. So let's get started on that. I am going to use raw umber. You like that line? I'm going to use raw umber, so I'm going to put a little bit of raw umber. I'm going to move this over here so you can see what I'm doing. A little bit of raw umber on my plate. And I'm going to use a round brush. I'll show it to you. It is number 10 round, like this. And I'm going to go into that brown. Can you see that? I'm going to go into that brown, saturate my brush really well. Hey, Louisiana. I'm going to start at the top. And I'm just going to pull my brush down. And I want you to watch my fingers and watch the brush. Do you see the brush turning? Let me get a little more. Watch the brush turn. So what I'm doing as I pull down is I'm twisting and turning the brush so it helps give that tree trunk a little more of an organic flow. I don't know why that brown doesn't want to be there. Twist, twist, twist. And I'm just going to kind of blend, that's some wet paint there, so I'm just going to kind of blend that in to that off-white that I just put in. So it just kind of vanishes right in. All right, now I'm going to get a little bit more, clean up my lines a little. Now what I'm going to do to make this a little more dimensional is I'm going to leave this brush dirty, but I'm just going to wipe off the excess. I'm going to go into my white and just get a little bit on my paintbrush. And I'm going to come, while this is all still wet, I'm going to come and I'm going to run my brush down one side of that tree. Get a little bit more to give it some dimension. Now I do kind of need a little something going on the left side, so I'm going to get just a tiny dot of black, not much. I don't need much. I'm going to use the same brush, get some on there, not much because you just want to do a smidgy. And we're going to just kind of barely touch and run that black down that side edge, the opposite side of where you did the white. So it's kind of like a shadow on one side and a little highlight on the other. I'm going to go back into my brown a little, and anywhere where I feel like it's too harsh, I'm just going to add a little bit of that brown back in. Otherwise, I think it's pretty good. So let me show you this close up. It looks kind of crazy from there. But that's what our little tree trunk's going to look like. Let's get this back down where it belongs. Now we're going to do some green on our palm leaves. So this is avocado. I'm going to squirt a little bit of that on my plate. And we're going to do a very basic palm frond thing because we are going to add glass to our palm tree. So I just want to get a basic shape on, okay? So I'm going to use that same brush. It's a round number 10. It's kind of damp. And I'm going to roll my paint And I'm gonna start from the tip and come all the way to the trunk of the tree on all of these. Can't talk and paint at the same time for the most part. All of these fronds. And then we're gonna fill them in a little. Start with the tip. As you get closer, you can push down so the line gets thicker. So you start with barely touching, and then as you get closer, push down so it gets thicker. All right, so now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna grab a little bit of a smaller brush. It's gonna be the same kind of brush. It's just gonna be a smaller version. It's a number 6 round. So it's just a smaller version of that same brush. And I'm just going to, I'm gonna start like right here, and I'm just gonna come in and start, I think I need to go from the outside in, hang on. I'm gonna start just pulling out from the initial branch and kind of make almost a comma, a backwards comma. Don't stress too much about this because we are going to be putting glass on these. But I want there to be, whoops, I want there, if there's any glass spots that are showing through, canvas showing through, I want there to be a little color under there. So we're just going to add some fronds. Nothing fancy. Why they're acting crazy. It's like I can't get enough brush or enough paint on there. It's a snow cone palm, yes. We should paint somebody eating a snow cone on the beach here. Alright, so we're just going to keep making our little fronds. And again, if you're following along, don't stress too much about the fronds being perfect because I am going to show you how we're going to add glass, and 90% of this won't show. Okay. Thank you, Belle. Hey, Christine. So, again, we're just going to come down from our initial branch. And just make some swoops. Don't make them all in the same direction either. Some can go out, some can be longer. And the last one, let's do, let's do the other side. And voila. So here is our palm tree. I got 5 fronds because I'm an opposite kind of girl. I love odd numbers. The Shattered Circle is theshatteredcircle.com. The link is above. So if you go here, let me type it in, because we need this to dry. So I'll take a minute. The Shattered, C-R-C-L-E. I can't type with these new fingernails. Okay, I'm posting the link theshatteredcircle.com. That is where you can join our membership. We'd love, love, love to have you. Okay, so I need to get this dry. And I'm trying to decide. So we are going to, I'm going to set this aside while it kind of dries naturally. I'm going to show you a little bit of what we're going to be putting on the palm fronds. So this is green glass, okay, that I've pre-nipped. So what I do, my Hobby Lobby sells sheet glass. I don't know if yours does, some do, some don't. So what I've done is taken a piece of sheet glass, and I have taken these nippers that you can also get at Hobby Lobby, and you're gonna just take your sheet and squeeze and squeeze and squeeze and squeeze, and inside the Shattered Circle, we go into more detail about that. It is not always open, Tracy. We're normally only open 2 times a year, in the spring and in the late fall, but we are doing our Christmas in July special because of our kits. So we decided to open just for the weekend. We'll be closing back up on Sunday. So you're gonna cut a bunch of these small nips, and they're super simple. Just squeeze. And you end up with, it's just a no-brainer, just a little very irregular leafy shape, okay? So I made a pile of those already. So we're gonna be gluing those down onto our palm tree, and then we're going to add some, with our marker, with our little crazy pen, we're gonna add some details. We're going to put some ornaments on here, and then we're gonna add some glass and shells at the bottom. So I'm trying to decide what to use for ornaments. I really thought about just painting on like red, because I could only find like 2 red balls because all my Christmas is packed up, and I wasn't even thinking about that. So I was thinking about just doing like blobs of red and then using bubbles for dimension. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna grab the cherry red. This is cherry red. Oh no, Deb, that's terrible. It makes me sad. Put that back away. So real quick, I am going to add my Christmas ornaments. This would be super fun too if you added things like Christmas lights. You can get those teeny little Christmas strings at your hobby store. I don't know if their Christmas is out yet or not, but you could get that during the holidays. So I am going to add some ornaments. I want to use my tracer, and I am going to go in, grab up some red on my cute little brush, and I'm going to add one here, just a little round red circle, puff. Then we'll put one like right here. Put another one down here. And so if you had those little miniature Christmas stuff, you could do all different colors of ornaments. You could do gold, you could do green, you could do violets, guys. Okay, did anybody catch that? Anybody TikTok? If you TikTok, you know what I just did there. All right, I keep putting my hand in that white. 1, 2, 3, 4, you know I gotta do odds, so we gotta do 5. Hey, Catherine. We're gonna do one here. For myself personally, I'll tell you the trick that I use when I'm doing stuff like this is I don't like anything to perfectly line up this way or this way. So if I'm doing another one down here, hanging from this leaf, I don't want it to line up with anything above it or beside it. So see how this one is right there? So I want this one to be longer. So we're going to move it over and put it not directly parallel to that other one. Voila. There's my ornaments. So now I'm going to grab a baby brush, if I have one, a little bitty baby. This is a same kind of brush, just a little smaller. This is a number 2. And I'm going to get a little bit of white on my brush, and I'm just going to come in and on one side of each of these red ornaments, I'm going to put a little comma of white. Boom. So let me show you that. So just little commas of white. All right. Now I'm going to hit this with my dryer real quick because I want to do my details and then we're going to add glass. All right. So let me hit it with my dryer. I want all this dry. Don't you hate it when Facebook does that? It's like just when you know where everything is, or just when everything starts to get easy, poof. They change everything, and you're lost again. I know I'm like that. They keep changing the names of things. Gosh, you're crazy. You're crazy, girl. You're crazy. Okay, so now we're going to use our little pen. This is a graphic 0.5 pen from Hobby Lobby. Master's Touch is the brand. And I'm going to outline my ornaments just half round. Boom, boom. I'll show you this close up so you can see that I am in no way striving for perfection. Boom, a little comma beside the white. And what I'm going to do is just draw a line straight up from my ornament to the tree. Then I'm going to make a little bow. See that? Super cute, super easy. So we're going to do this right up to the tree and add a bow. Right up to the tree. Add a bow. Right up to the tree. And this one is long and hanging. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead while I've got my pen out and I'm going to outline the trunk, just short, not even being in line, short strokes. And I am going to just add a few in case anything's showing. I'll show you this close up in just a second, but I'm just adding a few lines into our palm tree fronds. Okay, now I'm going to show you this close up so you can get a good idea of what's happening here. So here, can you see that pretty good? Give me some thumbs up if you can see that pretty good. Yeah? Looks great. I love it. It's so stinking cute already. Okay, so real quick, I'm gonna do our little pieces on our tree. Then we're gonna add a little glass down here and a couple of little seashells, okay? So I'm gonna grab some glue, and what I use is called Aleene's Clear Tacky Glue. So I'm gonna start with one palm frond at a time. I'm going to start with this one up top, and I'm just going to add a tiny bit of glue, kind of in a palm frond motion, just to kind of keep my glass in place as we work, okay? So now I'm just going to take my green, and I have all different colors of green, guys. Look at that. There's a lighter one, and I'm just going to start adding the green to my tree. Now, as we get close to the end, I'm going to use smaller little pieces. Let's see. Smaller little pieces, because we're going to do a second layer. We're going to double up. All right, we need one more, like right here. Okay, so that is layer number one. So I'm going to do layer number one on everything, and then we're going to come back and fill in the gaps. So you can see in that one frond that there are gaps between each little piece of glass. We're going to fill those in with another layer of glass before we stop. Okay, so we'll get our glue again, and just add a little bit here and there so it keeps everything intact. And ouch, and add in some palm fronds. Whoops. Let's get some shorter ones. Let's do this. That was kind of funny looking. Let's do this one. I love this one, super cute. So I want to show you the size of this. So it's pretty small, if you can see that. Stick that right in there. And we'll do one more right here. And again, we're going to come back after we've done all of them. Thank you, Gina. And we are going to do the next one. There's a lighthouse in the Shattered Circle vault. Super fun to do. I'm going to start with a larger piece, if I can find one. And we'll just start adding a few fronds here and there. And I love that they're all different shades of green. None of them are perfectly all the same color. We'll stick this one in here. And we're gonna keep going. It does give it extra dimension, and when we do the next layer of glass, it's really gonna show. So let's do, let's see. Oops. Look at this piece. That one is super cool. It's turned the wrong way though. We'll put that there. We'll do a little piece here. I'm gonna flip that. I'm gonna flip you. Getting glue all over my brand new manicure. Normally I don't care. I don't worry about stuff like that. But because I'm going out of town, I'm like, oh! Because I don't care about no manicure. For show. Let's see, one more right here. And then we're gonna do one more frond, and then we're gonna do our second layer. And then you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. So, let's start with a bigger piece. Here's one. Right in the center. And we'll just start bringing them out. Get where I want you to be. I'm just adding here and there to my tree. All right, I'm going to show this to you. I'm going to do one more little piece, I think, right there on the end. Let's do this. So this is what your first layer is going to look like. It's not going to be fantastical, okay? So that's what it's going to look like. So we're going to do another layer, and it's going to really make a difference. This is like the ugly before the pretty. So I'm going to use my glue again, and I am just going to just string it over the top of that glass a little. Don't worry too much about it. We're going to come in and we're going to place this strategically now, because we want to place it where it covers up a gap between the original pieces, where you can kind of see the glass showing through, or the paint showing through. So we're going to come in and add that last dimension. We'll do this one here, and I'll show you this in just a second so you can see exactly what I mean. This one's fantastical. Oh, it didn't want to go there though. Hang on. It's being ornery. Let's get something smaller. Maybe this. Okay, so this is what you're going to end up with. I need a small piece right there. 1 second. So look at this one particular palm frond compared to this. All right, so that's what we're working towards, just to give the tree, the palm frond, some dimension. So again, I'm going to take my glue and I'm just going to let it drizzle over that first layer of glass so that my second layer will have something to stick to. Oh. All right, so let's grab some pieces. I hope I cut enough. I think I did. And we're going to just start filling in gaps. All right, we're going to go right here. And we'll go right here. I like to kind of, some of these have a little curve to them. So you want to kind of follow that curve of the tree as well. Well, this one's super cute. It'll go perfectly right there. Ugh. And I think I'm going to sneak this little piece in right there. Right there. Okay, so that's the second one. It's starting to really come together. So let's do, fill those gaps in. Don't forget, that is the main goal, is filling in your gaps. So you don't see a ton of the undercoat. We'll do a little baby one. And that looks pretty good. So we're going to do these last two and then I'll show it to you again. So let's drizzle over the original layer. It's just so it sticks to something. Oh, look at my brand new mini. Like I didn't know that was going to happen. All right, so we'll add in some little pieces. Just keep layering. This one needs to go here. It was the wrong curve for that piece. All right, this one will work right here. Let's see. Trying to being nitpicky, trying to find just the right little pieces. Let's do this one here, fill in that little gap. And almost there, guys. Almost there. We're gonna do this piece here. And I need one more that kind of curves just a little bit to fill that right there. Okay, I'm happy with this. I think I need one more little something right there. I'm gonna add a teeny bit of glue. Perfect. Oh my goodness, guys, this is fantastical. Let me show you this close up so you can see what was done. Look how cute. Now you can see the dimension and then why you needed the 2 layers. That second layer helped fill in the gaps between the first layer of pieces. And I'll take a picture of this and get you a really good close-up as well. So let me grab we back? Sorry, let me plug in. Lord have mercy. Plugged in. That is my, that's obviously my shtick, is to just run out of sound right in the middle. Am I back? Give me some thumbs up. I know I'm a little behind. You back? Waiting to hear. Waiting to hear. No sound. No sound still? Hang on. It should be sound. You should have sound. No? Back? Oh, good. Okay, sorry. Y'all, okay, somebody who comes all the time, one of my girls needs to just, your job is when I go live is to tell me to plug my phone in. That is definitely my shtick, is to just run out of juice right in the middle of my live. Good heavens, it happens almost every time. Okay, so I'm gonna grab my glue again. I'm gonna put one tiny dot of glue on each of my little red ornaments, just the tiniest little dot. And then I'm gonna take these bubbles that I also sell on my website. Let's see, that's 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, and I'm gonna put those right, I'll put it on upside down. right on those ornaments to give them some pizzazz and some dimension and a little bit of shine, a little bit of dimension. So we'll put one on each little ornament. I'm determined to ruin this manicure. Okay, and so down here, I think I run out of battery or run out of sound by then, but down here I use Starfire. Okay, so Starfire Glass on the bottom where the tree meets the thingy, meets the sands. I could do that, and I normally, if we were doing a workshop that was more than like an hour long, Mary Beth, I would do that, and I often do use that, but you have to have good drying time. It's really hard to force that dry because it'll start to crackle and look icky. So I try to just use paint unless I'm really, really super prepared, and then I can like paint 2 at a time. Okay, so down here at the bottom where my glass is, I'm just gonna add a few shells, okay? I'm gonna add, I love this pink little shell, so I'm gonna add that right in by this tree. And I'm just gonna add a few little shells, not too many. Not too many. We'll add 1 or 2 here. And let's see what's in here. There's one. Something along the lines of this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 5. Okay. Right there. And one more little thing. There. So let me show you what I added. So there is our seashells down at the bottom. Always add shells, 100%. 100%. I don't have, let me see what I have I can use for coconuts. Let me see. I need some brown, I need to get my beads in order. I need to get my beads together. Get your beads together, Cindy. Let me grab, I think I have some copper glass or some bronze. Let me grab that so we can have some coconuts. Catherine won't let us not have coconut. Okay, here is bronze. So we're gonna add a couple of coconuts. We're gonna add some coconuts. Okay, this is bronze glass. I also sell, I sell 20, I think 26 colors on my website. So let's see what we have here. I want to find some that are somewhat round. Of course, none of them are, but that one may do. Let me add a little glue. We'll add it right to the center. So there's one coconut. None of those are even remotely round. Well, this one was close enough. And let's see. Here's one. Pretty round. Okay, so there is our coconuts that are not really round. Using, and I'll show you that close up because I can see that you can't really see that, but you could use beads. Like, I like to buy these at Hobby Lobby because it's a bunch of variety of beads in one little container, and you could totally get brown and use that for your coconuts. So let me show you close up what that's gonna look like. So cute. So I think we are ready to rumble, or resin, one or the other. All right, so Christmas in July at the beach has officially started. No better place to spend Christmas, in my opinion, than the beach. All right, I'm gonna put my gloves on because I've done enough damage over here. And we're going to pour some resin. Ugh. Thank you, Catherine. Get my gloves. So who bought a kit? If you bought a kit, give me a heart so I can see if I need to talk about it some more. Okay, so I'm going to move this over just a little, and I think I'm going to pour, I think I need a little more than an ounce, and because I really want to get this really well. So I think I'm going to just do 1.5 ounces. So I'm going to mark my cup at 1.5 ounces. We have a pumpkin sunflower kit. I'll show you guys in just a second. So 3/4 ounce of hardener. Catherine, I guess I should have got you in the know before we started this, huh? I'm going to send you an email or a Facebook message after we are off here and let you know what's happening. Something I should have done before, but if you expected me to, you would have been expecting too much because you know I don't work well. Okay, so let's do our resin. Again, I marked each cup at the 3/4 ounce. So we're going to end up with like 1.5 ounces. So I'm going to start with my hardener. And I'm going to pour, don't freak out, it'll be okay. I'm going to pour 3/4 ounce of hardener. Poof. And then I'm going to pour my resin. We'll pour 3/4 ounce of resin. Slow down, Cindy, before you overdo it. One more drop. Okay. Now I'm going to take my cup, got it ready already, and I am going to dump my resin into a mixing cup. The kit is called Sunflower and Pumpkin. It is a 8x10 canvas with everything you need to create the sunflower and pumpkin, and I'll show it to you in just a second. Except paint, you will have to get your own paints. It comes with paint brushes, the canvas, resin, stir sticks, measuring cups, gloves, tracer, graphite paper. Did I say paint brushes? Resin, and you have access to the videos. Once you purchase the kit, you'll get an email with a link that will take you to the video tutorial on how to create the pumpkin and sunflower for your kits. Also, when you buy a kit, there's a little QR code on the inside that will also take you directly to the videos as well, or to the login page. Okay, so that's 1.5 ounces of resin. So I'm gonna stir this for 3 minutes. Catherine, I'm ready. So let me know if you have questions. Really quick before I start stirring, I'm gonna show you the kit, okay? This is the art piece for the kit. It's a pumpkin and sunflower, and it is $32.95, and you get everything, canvas and everything you need to create this, including the workshop tutorials, canvas, graphite paper, paintbrushes, resin, etc., etc. The whole list. Go to artshattered.com and click on glass and supplies, and you'll see that kit. I think it's actually on the front page, and you can order that kit and create a piece for fall. Yes, when you purchase the kit, it'll have, you'll get an email with all the colors. that are required to paint that. I would encourage you, if you have a lot of paint colors already, to just use what you have. Don't go buy and paint specifically. You can use your own oranges, your own yellows, but there is a supply list and tracer included, okay? You'll have all the paint colors, etc. in an email and in the workshop videos. Ooh, almost bumped. Ooh, 3 minutes. And let me tell you about the stirring in case you buy a kit or you're new here. What you don't want to do is whip it to death. You're going to stir really slowly so that you don't incorporate a lot of air, which creates bubbles. Scrape the bottom so you're mixing up all those parts. Scrape the side, etc. Now you're gonna get bubbles. You're gonna get bubbles, okay? You are the faster you whip it, the more bubbles you're gonna get. So don't whip it to death. And the colder your resin, the more bubbles you're gonna have. So you want your resin at room temperature and you wanna stir slowly, okay? We're also gonna show you how to pop those bubbles with a heat gun. So stir, stir, stir. My iPad keeps going off. Let's see. I can't see any comments right now for some silly reason. Where are my comments, y'all? I'm sorry, I can't see any comments right now. I may need to log off my iPad and log back on. It's just showing a blank screen. Oh, okay, I swiped it and they went away. Okay, so where can you find the little cups to measure? I buy these at thepaintstore.com on the internet, but you can also find them. Oh, you're talking, these are little baby ones. You can get the little baby ones at Hobby Lobby, where you can find resin, but I buy them online on Amazon. They're called 1 ounce mix and measures, okay? Let's see. Comments keep going away. I apologize. If I missed your question, I will come back and answer any questions because my comments keep going away. Okay, Catherine, I see that. Catherine said time. I'm having to look up top at my iPhone. So here's how we're going to do this, okay? You're going to take your resin. I like to just give it, once my time's up, one more quick scrape around. Then I'm going to take my stir stick, and the first thing I'm going to do is drizzle very generously over my glass. All right. So we're going to cover all the glass bits first. Then we're going to come back and fill in the blank, the empty parts. All right, so 2 fronds. Cover all those little bits so nothing shifts and moves around. You're going to put a little bit of resin on your little Christmas ornaments too. Don't forget those. one more frond. Now we're going to come down here and we're going to do some on this glass and seashells. All right, now I'm going to take whatever's left and I'm going to drizzle it over the blank spaces where there's no glass. Fill in the space. I'm going to scrape that off. I'm going to use my silicone brush to move it around, okay? So I'm just pulling the resin to cover the blank parts of the canvas where there is no glass. So you're going to drizzle over your glass first and then come back and fill it in. All right, let me get down to the bottom. Off. And we'll just keep going up here, pull that to the side, all the way to the edge. Try not to skip any. And keep going all the way around. And voila, I think we have it all covered now. I'm gonna wipe this off. I don't want to wipe it off on anything that I'm going to get sticky, so I'm going to set it right there for now. So now I'm going to just look at my canvas kind of from an angle and make sure I don't have any little areas that need resin that I missed. Any little blank spots. They're very noticeable. They look very flat and matte, and there's one right there, right on my tree trunk. Now, I'm going to do two things. First, I'm going to take these gloves off. I'm going to try to salvage and not make a mess. Very interesting. So now I just got some debris from my glove in my canvas. So let's get that off. And I'm going to use my heat gun to pop any bubbles. This is a heat gun from Amazon. The brand is Seek 1. And I'm just going to use that. To pop any bubbles in my resin. We're going to do one more thing before we're done. I can see the bubbles popping. It is super satisfying to watch them pop. Woo! Okay, so I see one little spot that doesn't have resin, so I'm going to get that. And I see a little piece of gunk. Oh, just had a back spasm. Forgive me. Ooh, I need to be still for a second. Who in here, I'm gonna just get off subject for a second, but who in here has had an MRI? Because I had an MRI last week, and I'm telling you, that was the most traumatic thing I've ever done in my entire life. Okay, so before we move on, I'm gonna add a little sparkle, because what would the beach be without a little bit of snow? Ella, for a small project, I do like the heat gun better. For a larger project, I'm always going to go back to my torch. But they both have their place in my life. Okay, this is seed beads, crystal luster, and I'm just gonna add a little bit of that to my beach area. Like, okay, it's Christmas in July, but there is a little frost going on. There is a little snow. Wouldn't be Christmas in July without a little bit of fake snow. Okay, now that went kind of everywhere, so I'm gonna grab a toothpick. Yeah, I had to have one because I've been having horrific back pain. The noise was horrible, and I instantly went full panic mode. The minute they pushed me in, they had to pull me back out because I didn't know I was claustrophobic. But I totally lost my ever-loving mind, and my results came back today, and they were not great. They were not the best results. There is something in my canvas, hang on, making a bulge. Yeah, make sure you take those out. That was bulging. I was like, what is that? So anyway, I don't know what's gonna happen, but my back is not doing well. So here, I think we're done. I'm looking for debris in case you're wondering. So let me show you this close up. So we're gonna start from the top. Here is our cute little palm tree with the Christmas ornaments hanging down. Oh, and here is the bottom where we added our glass and our shells and our little seed beads for a snowy effect. It was